Today we were performing a maintenance checkup. One of the first things we're looking at is the physical unit itself. Things that can be notated: missing insulation, that are basically condensation line. So you don't want that dripping, on your plenum, on your boards of anything, even in the attic. So you want to keep this insulated as much as possible, so there's no leaks. We have one here, one up here sealed. So looks like we're good there. Looking at this, we have our safety float switch. I'm gonna open this up, see if there's any water in there. Do not see any water, so that tells me that the primary drain is draining correctly. I look at the slope of the drain, put my measure stick here. We're going at a downward slope, so we know that the slope is good and it's draining like it should be. Right here, we're missing Armor Flex insulation. This sweats. This is a P-trap. Water stays in here during the summers, so you don't want too much water or condensation coming out of here. Again, it'll start dripping underneath here and just ruin your property. You don't want that. Also, you'll look down the P-trap or the vent, see if there's any gunk. Put your fingers in here. Any gunk you notice, any water built up, coming back up, indicate drain issues. So it's one of the other things we look at. Looking at your plenum here, that's connected to your duct, that's distributing the air for the supply. Little things here on the side. Look like a little gap here, so we could be losing a little air going into your supply, so we want to seal that up. On the other side, we're checking. It looks pretty good back there, sealed up. So I would just notate, maybe just reseal here and reseal on the side, so we can get better air quality. Now we're gonna go ahead and open this up. Take a look inside this here. So basically, we need to look at the cleanliness, your wiring, any rubbing, any imperfections with the wires, things like that. I'm just looking at it. Everything looks pretty good, just a little dusty. We have our brush, we could dust off some of these things. Looking at the blower motor here, we spin the wheel. That kind of lets us know if your bearing is going out or not. So we'll kind of spin that freely. It should slow down like it did just now. And obviously, as it's running, we're going to check the amperage of your motor and everything else, capacitor. If it has a capacitor on here. It doesn't look like this blower motor has one. So then in here, let me get here's your coil. We're gonna check the cleanliness, any visible leaks that may be showing. Don't look like I see anything down there. We'll also at times take off the casing here and visualize it and look at it on the other angle. So let's look at this. Everything looks pretty good. Don't see any error message codes from pre-existing, so we are good to go there. At this point, we'll put on the AC. Now wait for the unit to come on. And this, we're gonna check the temperature coming out of your unit. It's the most accurate way. And then we're gonna check your return air. So we're checking from one end of the unit to the other end to get a proper temperature split. If we don't get a good temperature split, then we pretty much know we have an issue, either with cooling or leaking somewhere or anything of that sort. So put that in there. While this is running, we're gonna check the blow motor amperage. On this wire. So 0.4 looks pretty good. And right here on your unit, it usually tells you the amperage, run amps. 3.4, I got below that, so we know that your motor's performing efficient. It's not struggling, it's not burning out. Make sure all the wires is pretty tight. Nothing's loose, so that'll cause other issues. It'll short out. You can short out your transformer that operates like your heat kit and things like that. So you want to make sure there's no loose wires anywhere. Just be careful because it's obviously live. Once we're done with that, we'll close this up. So usually let it run a couple minutes or so. Make sure this temperature goes down. Temperature in here is 60, 71. So yeah, it'll probably take a while since I just closed the door. So we'll give it some time and we'll come back.
A few moments later.
All right, so we got our temperatures at 54 degrees. Now we're gonna check the return. And on other units in the attic, it'll be the horizontal. We'll check it on that return and that's a plenum, but today we'll do it like this. The only way we can do it. So we got 71 degrees. Thermostat pretty much says the same. So that's an 18-degree split. So we know that this unit is running efficiently. Now, if it was below 15 degrees split, then we know, hey, low refrigerant, TXV, could be multiple issues. So that's kind of how we check and determine what your refrigerant is outside as far as hooking up our gauges and checking that. So let's go outside and finish the maintenance. Oh, forgot. Duh. Your filter, the most important thing. Looking at that, that's a dirty filter, ladies and gentlemen. That filter needs to be changed, so let's go ahead and change that. Make sure we have the right size. Don't think this is. Let me go grab one. I'll be back. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and change this filter out. As you can see, it's dirty. Oh, that's dirty. If you want me back at your house replacing a unit, this is what it looks like. That's how your filter needs to look, like this. 30 to 90 days, you need to replace these filters. And we always want to point the arrow up towards the unit. That's the way the air flows, so just make sure you do that, and boom. Now we need to just go outside and finish the maintenance. A little dirty, but it's cosmetics. Looking at the hose, it looks like it's pretty sealed. Showing a little there. I mean, not big deal. We can take that up, seal that. Look at your coil. Regardless, we're gonna wash off the coil on the condensers during the maintenance, so let's open it up. Now in here, this is where pretty much your board, your circuit board, your power for your upstairs comes. So we're checking wiring, make sure it's not rubbing. And again, rubbing on wiring will cause other issues, short outs, review replacing a compressor. I've seen it all. So we're checking all that. Your capacitor is right here that controls your fan motor and your compressor. This is the battery foot, pretty much.
the contactor. Make sure if you can see the coil, sometimes they'll be burnt, so you make sure that's good. And we're gonna check the amps now. And again, we're checking to see if it's out of range, out of tolerance. Because if it is, then we pretty much know your motor is going out, or your compressor, and all the information that we need is right here on the nameplate on every unit. So we're gonna reference off of these. So when we check in the compressor, that's good. And we're checking your fan motor, that's also good. So far so good. We'll check that capacitor. A lot of times if the amperage for your compressor, your fan motor is a little high, that indicates that your capacitor is going out. So, we'll recommend replacing it, or, if we need to, we'll shut this down and check it ourselves with the multimeter and see how much tolerance that has. So, after everything is pretty much complete, we'll just wash off your condenser coil and, give it your report and, kind of be good to go. So, that's your maintenance plan. Thank you.